Hello, welcome to Meeple Mentor Reviews. I'm Jared, and with me is Holly. And we are taking a look at one of the sequels or spiritual successors to Vinyl Jukebox. This is Vinyl Season's Greetings or Holiday Edition of Vinyl Jukebox. We did a review of Vinyl Jukebox. This is the follow-up, which is the holiday version. It's a thinner box, more card-based play than tiles and coin and bag building.
It's a little crazy that it's a thinner box because I feel it's more involved.
Yeah, there are some things in this that are a little bit more, not complicated, but just, there's different, this is a very different game. It is just a very different game. I think if you like Vinyl Jukebox, who knows if you'll like this one because they're so different. The only way that they're really the same is that they're themed around music and you know, collecting points for playing music. There are still vinyl records in here, but it's not about collecting and setting up patterns of records. It's more about creating trees. You have a left and a right Christmas tree that you are building using cards. Now, the cards on one side have a picture of a Christmas album. On the other side is the meat and potatoes of the game. They each have 3 icons on them and also a gift card tag. Now, the items, you get points by matching up, placing that card on a tree next to other cards that have those same icons. The point tokens that you collect are Christmas light bulbs, and as you place these album cards into the tree pattern, you add one of your ornament tokens so that you know that was your card. And essentially the game goes back and forth, and it plays 2 to 5. You have a action selection larger ornament for your board, and you can either select the left tree to play that turn or the right tree to play that turn. You're sharing these trees with the player to your left and the player to your right. So you're both, you know, on either side of you building these trees up by playing cards throughout the game. There's also a third action possible called gift cards, where instead of placing it in a tree, you place one to the bottom of your board. And that is another way to try to score items in one of those trees. If that sounds complicated, it can get a little confusing, especially when you add that there's a scorecard called a wish card that at the end, one of your trees will score based on how many icons match in specific places of the 12 card tree. The gift cards score based on the cards you've played, but the wish card scores on the tree in general, not just ones that you have added to the tree. That can also become very difficult and problematic when your opponent has no idea what you want, what icons you want where, and they play something that hurts that match. What are some of your thoughts on playing this?
It's not even your opponent placing it. It's the impossibility of you being able to place it. This game is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
This game is not for me. One of my fundamental issues with it is that the 2-player version has bonus cards that are impossible to obtain.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have doves as one of these spaces that are on these bonus trees. There are absolutely no doves whatsoever on any of the 2-player cards, and every bonus card has doves on it.
It's true.
So that's a big downfall right there, number one.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't actually test to make sure that the cards that are on the you know, the 2-player card set, you know, because you got like 3 and then 4-player that you remove, but they didn't check to see if the 2-player cards that they kept had any of these dove icons, because all of the wish cards that have the, you know, the in-game scoring tree things, like all of them have doves on them.
And so if you're like me, then you look at the bonus cards and things like that as something to work towards. In this game, there is no clearly defined, I need to work towards this. I spent the entire game trying to figure out how to make points because I was lost, because I was like, well, I can't make the tree. And if I'm going back and forth between the left tree and the right tree, how am I supposed to place any ornaments? It was just, it's just not for me.
It can get confusing because you are building two at the same time, and your opponents are also adding on their turns cards to those trees.
You're not building one specific tree.
Right.
You're both building each tree.
Right.
And if you want a specific ornament to go on a tree, on a specific tree, then, or excuse me, a specific album to go on a specific tree, then you have to play a gift card to make sure you get back to that specific tree, but you've only got 3 gift cards, and if you play it and you don't have, it's just too much. It's just too much.
You do get, so you start with 5 cards to work with, and after you place an album in one of the trees on one of those turns, you get to draw back a new card from the display of 4. But if you use your album card as a gift card, you do not get to draw back up. So you're permanently crippling your choices for the remainder of the game, even though the gift cards might be a great way to score those vinyl records.
But there again, if you don't use that gift card, you are stuck going back and forth between the trees, and you may not have the selection or have been dealt what you need to do those 2 trees. I just don't think it's very balanced very well. I just don't.
It can get really frustrating, but I mean, the holiday theme, if you really want something Christmas themed, this is very Christmas themed. There's, Christmas imagery everywhere, and every card on the back has, the Christmas album, fully displayed, and they're all unique. I didn't know all the Christmas
cute
songs, but
for someone who likes Christmas more than I think you do.
Right.
It is a cute game. I love that I got to be like little gingerbread men. But again, it's another one of those, I don't have a defined end goal because it's literally impossible.
It really would be tricky to complete that 12 card tree in exactly the way that the wish card asks you to.
And aside from the wish card, I have no, I hate to use the phrase clearly defined, but autism, I need things clearly defined. I have no obvious, this is what you need to do to be considered endgame.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I need that. I can't just willy-nilly go, oh, let's try to make some points.
Yeah.
No, I need some structure.
Well, yeah, that's true. Because if you don't, I mean, essentially you're just trying to place a card every turn that's going to give you the most points that turn, and that's it. Because you're looking at adjacent cards, and whatever matches you can get, the more points you'll score that turn. So hopefully every turn you're going to score something, unless you're playing a gift card, in which case it might score then, it might score later. And that's just dependent on, did you complete the 4 requirements on that gift card in one tree with only your album.
So yeah, I feel like the issue inherently is that being that you either have to sacrifice a card for the rest of the game or bounce back and forth from tree to tree, it is exceedingly difficult.
Because you can't focus on one thing.
That, and it is exceedingly difficult to make the matches. Because those matches have to be on cards you have placed, and it has to be touching, right?
They have to be touching. They don't have to be matches with cards you've already played.
See, it's all confusing.
Okay. If they're on the tree, you can match with it.
I like the little records. I think they're adorable. I love the pieces. I like the idea. It just, maybe it was too late at night for me. I don't know. I just didn't like, I really want to like it, which is the thing, because come on, look at that. That's adorable. I want to love it. But I just don't.
Yeah. If I had to compare the 2 games, Vinyl Jukebox and Holiday Edition, they are very different. I think Jukebox just flows more straightforwardly, and it's a little easier to sort of.
I wasn't a huge fan of that one either, but I do prefer it. Like,
right. So maybe, you know, the underwhelming nature of this was comparatively to the original. I think we were just not as impressed.
Yeah. It's got potential.
Yeah.
See, maybe it really is that bonus card thing, that wish card thing. Maybe if I had one that I felt like I could build.
Yeah, I think perhaps because of the fact that all the wish cards or goal cards have an icon that aren't possible in 2-player, you can't play this 2-player.
Yeah.
You just can't.
It's very limiting. It's like I'm playing at a detriment.
Right. So I would say perhaps we didn't get to try this at 3 because after we played at 2-player, we're both just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to play this, it needs to be at least 3 players because of the icons that are required to be on the cards for you to try to match everything.
Or, you know, if you're okay with defiling cards, just switch up one of those bonus items on a couple of the bird cards.
Yeah. I mean, they really should think about reprinting some of the wish cards for the 2-player wish cards, given that there aren't the dove icons on the 2-player cards. So...
because the scoring cards, the bonus cards, wish cards, whatever, they're called different things in different games, but a lot of the time that is the basis for, okay, if I don't do anything else, I need to try to do this.
Yeah. And they're saying, okay, 1 or 2 of these spots you can't ever complete.
Period. Just at all. Yeah. Impossible in 2-player mode.
Yeah. So, you know, I think there's a little tweaking that needs to be done on the game. Maybe there's another edition that could come out to rectify some of these issues. But, you know, that's kind of where I stand.
Maybe even just like a tiny expansion with a couple extra cards for 2 players, you know? Just something easy to fix, but...
Like swap out these 4 album cards with these new 4.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
Or maybe, hey, throw 2 of the 3-player cards into your 2 players when you play it.
Swap them out. Yep, yeah. That could work. That's an easy workaround. Yeah, that could work if you want to try to avoid that issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is...
I really think that was my biggest issue, is because, like, I need somewhere to start from.
Yeah.
In the beginning. And we didn't realize until, what was it? There were like 6 cards left in the draw deck. And I was like, I'm beginning to wonder. I said on that turn, I'm beginning to wonder if there are any birds on any of these cards. And he goes, I know, right? And then the next turn, I was like, it is taking everything in my power not to look at the rest of those cards. He said, do you want me to pick them up and look? I was like, yes, please. And lo and behold.
So there you have it. With a little bit of tweaking, this could be fun.
Yeah.
But overall, I think we preferred the original. And if you really like Christmas, then maybe this will be a bigger hit for you.
And 2, he pulled this thing on me where he was like, okay, so the only way you can score is you got to sing it. And I was like, well, I'm in trouble because I don't know any of these songs. So
I was just kidding.
I know you were, but the difference is I couldn't really identify anything in this game. I recognized one song.
Yeah.
Vinyl Jukebox, we were sitting there going, Bowie. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, one of the genres looks like David Bowie singing. So.
It's great. And I always thought B.B. King, and I could recognize I need Elvis in the 60s. You know, that's how I was doing it in my head.
Right.
Or I need Pat Benatar. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I had things to associate with it.
Sure.
I don't really know.
Yeah, this is a little
Christmas
more abstracted,
music.
I think.
Yeah, it's very niche.
Yeah.
It's very niche.
All right. Well, this has been our review of Vinyl Holiday Edition Jukebox Season's Greetings.
Sorry, I tried.
Thanks for tuning in to this review. Stick around for some more. And until the next time, I've been Jared.
I'm Holly.
Bye-bye.
Bye.